Hello everyone, welcome back to a brand new video, a brand new review. And in this video today we're going to be looking at the Space Hippie 03. Now, I'm going to be over delivering today because not only do I have the Space Hippie 03, I also have the Space Hippie 01, and we're going to take a look at both of these in today's video. Now, of course, if you are new to the channel, I am very happy to have you. Of course, the subscribe is right there if you want to hang out on a regular basis. And like always, we're going to skip all of the crap and get straight into the video. Let's cut to the B-roll. I've got both because this is obviously my size, the bigger box, and my girlfriend also hit, so she got the Space Hippie 01. So I've got both. We're going to take a look at both of these pairs. Now the funny thing about these is this is the only box you get in, so they have taped over the normal sneaker box and, you know, put the shipping labels. I took the shipping label off of here, I left it on this one just like that, but yeah, you're getting the shipping label all over it. This is to just help Nike on their aggressive mission to get better and better at making recycled sneakers and, you know, leaving less of a carbon footprint. Now it's kind of one of those things where, you know, you don't really like it, but it's for such a good cause that you can't really argue with it. So whether you would prefer the box to come undamaged or not, this is how Nike is shipping them. All right, so we're gonna unbox Space Hippie 01 first. It's so easy to just cut the shoe or something if you're using a knife. All the branding is on the box right here on the inside. Of course, this is printed with eco-friendly ink. Nice little bag. This is definitely made from recycled materials as well. You can see just by the discoloration and kind of like all the added little colors. But here is the shoe. There we go. Look at that. A nice little size 5. All right, and time for the big one. This is the exciting one, Space Hippie 03. You're getting that Space Hippie bag. This one seems like the exact same size. Nike Space Hippie 01, 02, 03. Here we are, the Space Hippie 03. I gotta say, Space Hippie 03 looks crazy in person. Nothing like you really get from the pictures. This is just kind of, this looks crazy. Both the Space Hippie 01 and 03 were both released as part of a second colorway of the Space Hippie pack. However, this second pack coming in the gray and vault color doesn't have the Space Hippie 04, as that colorway seems to have released in the last or the first release. So the Space Hippie 03 and the entire lineup of this pack released on July the 17th and retails for $180 or £160 if you are here in the UK. Now with this sneaker, we're gonna mainly focus on 03 because 01 is a little bit more basic and generally not as interesting as this one right here. As you can see from the general construction, this is pretty much like nothing we've ever seen before. Now, of course, the entire inspiration of this pack is heavily towards how far can Nike go in terms of recycling products. So sustainability is like the biggest factor behind these sneakers. It's insane what they have been able to accomplish with these sneakers. So the design language of this entire Space Hippie pack follows a very specific idea that the Nike design team had when creating these sneakers. That is essentially no more resupply missions coming to Mars. So of course they chose this space theme. Obviously a resupply mission, meaning something coming in and, you know, supplying you with more supplies to stay alive or to have at your expense. They've used a lot of their own waste products in order to create something that can actually be used and sold. I think the Space Hippie 03 takes on that ethos probably the best out of the entire pack. So we're going to start off with the upper, which is a Flyknit material. However, it's not a regular Flyknit. So Nike is calling this their Space Hippie waste yarn. They have actually managed to recycle a lot of materials and blend it all together to create this Flyknit material. Now this space waste yarn is actually made from 85 to 90% recycled materials, which of course include post-industrial scraps, you know, old t-shirts. They've used plastic bottles and they've used other older Flyknit materials that would otherwise be thrown out. On the toe box, you're getting a embroidered Nike swoosh in this kind of green or Volt colorway, and just underneath that, kind of giving it a shadow look, you're getting some black stitching. Now also around the toe box you have some of that light green or Volt stitching all around, and just up from the toe box you get to this very confusing lacing system. Now this is what Nike is calling their FastFit lacing system, and straight off the bat, trying this on, it's just going to be a pain. So of course this is very similar to the Fly Ease lacing system. I wasn't a fan, and it's just kind of delicate. It doesn't give you the fit that you really need. And this one kind of follows that and has very similar drawbacks to what that one had. So for starters, you get this pull tab at the front, which I think looks really good aesthetically. You have a little tab on the front which says pull, and this is essentially how you're going to lace up the sneakers. So you're going to pull this up, and as you can hear, it locks the laces in place. And when I say laces, I mean this tiny dental floss looking like lacing system, which is interweaving around these two plastic pods on the lateral and medial portion of the sneaker. These tiny strings always kind of hang off the side of the sneaker, and I can definitely tell a lot of people are going to have trouble with this catching on stuff, or even your own foot when it's on the medial side and just tearing out. And you know what, I tell you how complicated this looks with the tiny little plastic elements. This is something that you're not just going to be able to fix yourself. Now once you're all locked down and you're ready to take your shoe off, you have this little eject tab back here. Now both the pull tab and the eject tab are both made of a slightly stretchy kind of material. Now a problem with this eject tab is that you kind of don't feel it working, which kind of leads you to believe that you're not pulling hard enough, and that may lead you to completely pull it off. However, you know, I'm not going to test that and see how much strength it has. I feel like the entire lacing system is going to be the biggest drawback of this sneaker. Now you're going to need that pull tab, because let me tell you, this is a really small enclosure to be able to get your foot in. I mean, I kind of struggled, and I can imagine anybody with, you know, maybe a little bit more of a wider foot is going to struggle as well. This is something that is pretty tight, and obviously this being a high cut sneaker, it's made to kind of hug your ankle. Now moving around to the back of the sneaker, you find another little structure on the back which has a little bit of material running over the top of it, which holds the laces in place for the medial and lateral portion of the sneaker. Now moving down to the midsole, this is Nike's Crater Foam, which Nike has done an incredible job creating what they call this Crater Foam, being a combination of Nike Grind and other foam materials. So Nike Grind being basically exactly what the name says. It is Nike grinding up a bunch of other, you know, waste products of cushioning systems that would otherwise be chucked out. And that's where you get this little speckled effect throughout the entirety of the midsole. You can literally see chunks of other cushioning systems. You know, some of it even comes off. There's a little piece that came off there. You know, I think this gives this a really interesting look. I personally like it. It gives Nike the opportunity to add as much waste product into this shoe as possible, giving it the marketing slogan we all know as "This is trash." The middle of the shoe looks really cool. It's got this kind of grater effect where all of these slanted bits are jutting out of the shoe, and it leaves open these gaps where you can see the exposed ZoomX. ZoomX is normally reserved for high-end running sneakers that Nike makes, including the Alpha Fly and other Next Percent running sneakers. However, they've implemented that pretty differently in this sneaker. As you can see from the underneath, it looks nothing like a regular ZoomX. And as you look inside the sneaker, you can see they've created this insole, which is completely made out of ZoomX scraps. So they have literally taken old cut-off bits of ZoomX, chopped them up and glued them together to create this midsole. Now, as for sizing of this sneaker, I mean, it is true to size. When I was wearing it, I felt like, you know, this fits me pretty perfectly. However, if your true to size in specifically Nike sneakers is normally pretty snug, I would consider going half a size up in these. All around the toe box, this really isn't stretchy whatsoever, and you can feel that underfoot. Now, for me, it feels nice. It feels like a good amount of lockdown. Now, the Space Hippie 01, this being, I mean, a lot more basic than this one, we can just kind of run through the look and style of this one right here. Getting this 01 in hand kind of makes me think, you know, this is something I would wear for sure. I would definitely wear this. However, you know, you're spending $180 on this and something breaks. I have no idea what Nike's plan is to kind of deal with the amount of tears you get in that lacing system. But that pretty much wraps it up for today's video. Now the question is, which one are you going for? These are the most popular sneakers out of the entire Space Hippie pack. So which one are you going for? The crazy one like me, or are you going for the more, you know, kind of regular but has that Space Hippie vibe? Let me know down in the comment section below. Now thank you so much for liking, commenting, and subscribing. I will catch you in the next video, but until then,